Next up, we have Crystal Corruption by Leah Kuo, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will play a single game of the choice of the community. On top of the other things, members get early access to the content. Artists, let's collaborate. Leah Kuo, let's collaborate. Any of my skills you want from music, just let me know. I have a whole spiel about this at the end of the video. Stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's check this out. Crystal Corruption, let's go. Okay, so we start with a fade in. Fade in, of course, is just the volume going upwards. We have a piano doing an arpeggio. An arpeggio being when you play a chord one note at a time. Here's a clear example, of course. Here we have a C major block chord, and then arpeggiated. So we're having this. The rhythm itself seems to be in a kind of like a superimposed way, because the arpeggio doesn't fully repeat every single, like it doesn't fully repeat. There's a part that gets cut off to fit the rhythm, right? So we're doing something like that, right? So we're cutting that in to fit whatever time signature we are meeting over here. And then we are having another melody higher on top, which could be our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, usually in the melody, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, I think that's... Developing the melody, okay. Oh, it's a vocal layer, okay. Alright. So now, of course, we bring in a second layer of the piano doing the block chords on the rhythm that the piano is doing the arpeggios, and we have now sequenced the arpeggios. So sequencing is when you it's a way to develop your material. It's when you repeat some musical idea just from a different point, like it's a musical shape or melodic shape, usually just from a different starting point. So starting point in the scale. So for example, if we take this C major, right, and we sequence it, here's the original, then sequencing, kind of thing. This can also, of course, work with chords if you're doing a chord progression. You look like a burnt sausage. What is that again? Burnt sausages aren't this white. What kind of burnt sausages have you... I don't want to know. So, welcome to today's... How you doing? I don't want to know. Don't answer that. Let's see where this goes. So there we go. We bring this back down. We have the melody. And yeah, it turns out the melody being sung, it's going to be either the highest note of the arpeggios going on or the lowest note of the arpeggios going on. I didn't expect it, neither did I. So yeah. We're having it's gonna be this. So this is a really cool thing that you can do with arpeggios, by the way, where you give yourself, let's say we do this, right? Like we're doing a bunch of arpeggios, we're sequencing, whatever, but the top note, then you can turn into a full melody. A composer that did this, probably the best in history, was Beethoven with his Moonlight Sonata. By, of course, Beethoven. The Moonlight Sonata, of course, being entirely the arpeggios, what makes it absolutely beautiful. Because if you listen to the top melody of the Moonlight Sonata, especially the first movement, that is the melody of the Moonlight Sonata first movement. But once you add the arpeggios, so you add the arpeggios, and this one, of course, being out of rhythm, but you can have, of course, in rhythm, you can still have those notes being highlighted. In technically speaking, that would be an accent. So accents are in music for accentuation. This is a half, by the way, Justo. Accentuation, which is when you have another instrument highlighting something in another instrument, right? So let's say if we were to have the melody, right? And if I were to have any other instrument playing this melody as well, that would be an accent, not just, or part of it, right? So if I were to go, bum, that initial bum that I did, that is an accent. We're highlighting that point in the melody. So, and not Dan, welcome to How you doing? So yes, let's see where this goes. So we're repeating this. Oh yeah, and the voice. The voice has so much reverb on it that it's almost impossible to recognize as a vocal track. So, and when it comes to music, and especially in digital workstations, echo is not something that is going to happen very naturally, especially if you're in, and even if you are recording from like a professional studio, you're not going to pick up much in terms of echo. For example, the vocal tracks, usually you're going to have like all these sound foam and soundproofing and everything, and you're not going to pick up echo. So the way that you're going to do it is, instead of picking it naturally, you're going to emulate it. And we have two ways of emulating echo. We have delay and we have reverb. Now, delay is what we normally would call echo, right? Like imagine yourself standing at the top of a mountain yelling echo, 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 echo. That is delay, and you can, manipulate that digitally. Since this is emulated, you can adjust the timing and everything. And reverb is small scale echo. Imagine yourself in a hallway or something like that. For example, I can turn on the piano. So here we have the piano, of course, right? Here we have without reverb. If I add the reverb, you can hear a little bit of the echo. And if I were to just completely add just crank all the buttons up, you can hear it almost like it's delay, right? So it sounds very, very nice and echoey. And of course, if you crank it forward even more, you can even start blending the notes together to the point that it sounds kind of like how it sounded. Let me see if I can get like a very, very big, let me see, Taj Mahal, the stadium? Like a stadium delay? No, okay. So these are just different emulations of this, right? So you can hear it echoing a lot. Even if I let go of the key, the echo still persists. And if you add enough delay, and this is just like the built-in that I have from Contact in the Grandeur, right? Like that's the name of the virtual instrument. You can have dedicated reverbs, and you can just continue layering these things until you get kind of like a blob of audio that you're hitting the notes, and it's almost ethereal in nature that gives you the sound that you are getting through these. Shio, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. How you doing? And welcome back, Valid. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. So yeah, it's difficult to tell that it's even a vocal track up there. Now that sounds kind of like a violin taking over the melody. Okay, so now we repeat the same thing we're doing before. We reduced the delay a little bit on the vocal track. Now the vocal track has a little bit more speed as well. It's engaging in what would be called a reduction. Reduction being another way that you can develop your material, which is just speeding up whatever you're playing, right? So if I were to take, let's do something slow, right? Like if we were to take a very slow, and we were to reduce it, that just means we're going to play it faster. And that's it. So relatively speaking, we're having that happen, and we bring in, I think it's a Glockenspiel. Glockenspiel, of course, being this very, very lovely instrument. My favorite iteration of a Glockenspiel is in Mozart's Die Zauberflöte, the Magic Flute. And we have this very much sounds kind of like a music box, sounds almost like a toy, and it is considerably more expensive than a toy. Like this model that we're seeing in the picture over here is 700,000 forint, which is almost $2,000, right? So, oh wait, no. So if we get it in the if there's some brands that are 2 million forint, that's like $7,000, right? Fuck it, I meant it. So, so we're having this now, and this Glockenspiel is now giving us a drum beat by the nature of it being percussion. And Duck, welcome today. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. So, oh, there we go. So now we bring in the actual drum set, but we're just still looping everything else. We're just layering everything on top of each other. And yes, I did, Nova. Yes, I did. I am not apologizing. Oh. And we bring a very, very quick taste of the electronic. When it comes to electronic music, I just call it the dubstep wub wub. Because you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So we bring a very, very quick preview of that wub wub. Samuel, welcome today. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. There you go. We're bringing it forward. And we completely interrupt what we were doing with now dubstep wub wub. This is not entirely dropping a beat. This is more like an interruption. We are now introducing the dubstep elements. Let's see where this goes. Aren't some instruments made with African black wood, like the most expensive wood in the world? Many different instruments will be made with different types of wood. The different variations will have that. And no, some of the most expensive instruments in the world are not just the ones that are made out of exotic wood, but the ones that are aged the most. For example, if you see a violoncello, right? So a violoncello, this instrument over here, the one that you have to play sitting up, the best sounding cellos, like a good sounding cello, is going to be at least 100 years old. So these instruments are expensive for a reason. Like these are kept and these are kept and maintained. Some of these have been around. Like there's players out there right now that are playing cellos that were played during the time of Bach, kind of thing, right? Like during the Baroque period, during the classical period, 200, 300, 400-year-old cellos that are in use still today, and those sound exquisite. Like they are made, by the way, an instrument maker, if you this is a very difficult trade to do, but if you can figure it out, it's really good. It's a luthier. A luthier is a person who builds instruments. It's an extremely difficult trade, but if you can figure it out, you set up shop nearby a what's it called? A symphony orchestra or a music school, anything like that, you're set for life. But getting there, really, really difficult. And the luthiers, of course, this being a trade, yeah, you're gonna find source wood that might be exotic, might not be. Some wood might not work well with music. Some wood will. It depends entirely on the material, depends entirely on the wood. So yes. Anyway, back to this, and Bonfire, yes, welcome. I see that you insist. You insist. So yes, we're having now the introduction. We are interrupting the very beautiful layered music that we had before just now. Though that very, very lovely arpeggio melody, reverb. So real life questing for your crafting materials. Yes, that's most of these like craft work jobs. Like jewelers do this, glass makers do this. Luthiers do this, carpenters do this. Yeah, it's the real life, yeah. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so I guess this would count now as dropping the beat. We are, of course, engaging on the kill switch. Kill switch in music, a kill switch, it's a term, I'm going to use it because just calling it chopping, it doesn't really make sense. Kill switch is a... It started with guitars, with electric guitars, and it's a button that when you press it, it cuts the volume. Like, it completely turns off the volume, and when you let go, the volume comes back up. It's a really, really cool thing. It's really cool with guitars, but of course, electronic music is where it has benefited the most. If you want to know how it works, basically, you take whatever audio file you have. Let's say this is an audio file of whatever, right? Like, let's say we have a drum beat over here, or no, let's say we have a single instance of a whooping from the whoop whoop of dubstep, and you take this and you start just chopping off bits from it. Most artists will do this with a specific rhythm in mind, and this is gonna give you that choppiness in the audio. So yeah, we're having that happening, and let's see where this goes. So now we drop the beat. Okay, so yeah, now we completely drop the beat. We are reiterating some of the whoop whoopness that we had before, but we are bringing a completely new, completely separate set of materials that we had. Now, the risk here is that the first part of this could easily just have been an introduction, and it could be a completely separate piece. So you will need to tie this one back together. When you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same material, you risk boring the listener, they do not. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they do not. There is one universal exception, of course, which is solos. Any genre, any style, you put a solo, and as long as it sounds cool enough, and as long as it sounds like it belongs enough, you can get away with it. Exception number 2 for electronic music as an additional one, which is dropping the beat. You drop the beat, and as long as it sounds cool enough, you can get away with it. So yes. And Mangosteen, welcome today. How you doing? Yes, it is. We're recording this on a Saturday for once, because yesterday on Friday I had an RP group. Like we have a group with Dunkel and Primo and a couple of other people. We were playing Dragonbane. So good stuff. Anyway, let's see where this goes. So we have. So right now, I would say the one thing that is still connecting this dropping of the beat to the material we did before is I think we're still playing the same chords, some of the same chords that we were playing before. Otherwise, this is completely unrelated material, completely new material, and it runs the risk. Like, you can overdo it, and it is very possible to overdo the exception to the point that it just stops applying. So that is also a danger that you have to be conscious of if you're making music. Let's see where this goes. Very nice. We continue the dropping of the beat. And of course, in order to keep things fresh in terms of the rhythm, we make sure to not always do the bassy whoop whoop. We sometimes make sure to include some chords up there. Interrupted, of course, interrupted by the drums. Not entirely side-chained, but to, play them in syncopation to the drums. Syncopation, of course. Syncopation being when you play against the rhythm. So in this case, of course, the rhythm being the drums, very, very clear. When the keyboard, those chords play, they are syncopated to the drums because they are playing in between the beats instead of playing with the beats. Let's see where this goes. And just now, we had a little bit of rhythmic displacement over there. We used that slight that little sample there to push the beat a little bit, and now we fall into a more more stable beat. Now let's see where this goes. There we go, and here is when we tie back the initial material. Very subtle, very much in the back, but we are getting those arpeggios back. We're getting some of those arpeggios back. And yes, rhythmic displacement is when you displace the rhythm, just like octave displacement is when you displace the octave. I had a very bad idea for a joke, and I decided not to say it, and I already forgot it. Okay, let's see where it goes. There we go. We're slowly fading in. Variations of the arpeggios that we had before. Oh, it's a really cool, very cool combination. Ooh. Okay, so that was a really, really cool moment of both elements working together very, very nicely, but also working against each other. Very, very nice and complementary. And now let me just hear this again. We go for a break over here. Off the ramp we go. So off the ramp, of course, being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a specific type of transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats, it can be as long as an entire section. Purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, which is what has happened over here. And in this case, we are completely transitioning back to the other side of this piece, so to speak. And now we've replaced the piano with a harp. Let's see where it goes. Very beautiful. We bring back that overly reverbed vocals. We bring a flute now. The flute instead of the glockenspiel. So this, by the way, these changes are called orchestration. Orchestration or instrumentation, right? Instrumentation or orchestration, where we are changing what instruments play what for the texture, sound, psychological response, whatever it may be. Right now, of course, we have changed the piano and the glockenspiel for the harp and the flute. The harp, of course, always very much being associated with the divine or angelic, and a flute always having that very, very nice innocent sound, as opposed to a piano, which a piano is very much a representation of an individual with all their complexities, and a glockenspiel also having a different variation of innocence. So it could be that. It could just be that Liaquo just liked the sound. Let's see where it goes. And I think we have a doubling here. I think there's a second flute now playing an octave higher. Doubling is when you have the more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. So let's see. See where it goes. So we are almost one-to-one redoing what we did before, but now the glockenspiel is back, doing something else. So now the glockenspiel is back doing the extended melody, like the full melody that the vocal was doing before. We bring back the vocal. So this is a partial recapitulation. Recapitulation. We are redoing some of the material that we did before, but this time around we've changed the instrumentation. This is a really good way of doing recapitulation because you're doing the same thing but differently. That's one of the big challenges in music, that yes, repetition is your friend, but a lot of the times in music you want to do the same thing but differently. And it is perfectly possible in music. Why? Because music makes no sense. Music makes very, very little sense. Music is a very illogical and very irrational medium that exists. That's why. Like, I'll tell you, it gets pretty insane. A major chord. It is made out of a root, a major third, and a perfect fifth. Okay, what determines a minor chord? You switch the major third for the minor third. There's a certain mathematical element that goes to it. For example, a major third is 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps away from the root chord. And why is it major? Oh, because it sounds bright and nice and happy. Minor chord, you remove 1 half step, you go down to 3 half steps. Oh, this sounds darker and sadder and more morbid. These are some of the official explanations. There is, like, why does this sound happy? We don't know. It just does. Like, this is just the intervals that we get. It sounds happy. Sounds very nice and bright. This sounds sadder, darker. Why? Because the music chose to do that. It's just how it sounds. Here is, for example, the interval being the space between two notes, right? There is one interval in music that is perfectly symmetrical. Like 100% symmetrical. The tritone. And it's also the only interval in music that sounds inherently unstable. It's not dissonant. Well, it has a certain level of dissonance, but it is inherently unstable. That gets then resolved into whatever you want. Dissonance, of course, would be like something like this, but then you can add one more note, and it goes from sounding horrible to sounding very beautiful. So yeah, music makes very little sense in that way. It's just how it is. We know these things, but what the heck is James R. Basil? Oh yeah, that's my Discord nickname in my Discord channel. Because many years ago we had an idiot sandwich. I was James. I was the Basil. We had, I think, Pickle, and we had a couple of other people that were making the idiot sandwich. That's why. Anyway, let's see where this goes. So yeah, we're recapitulating still. There we go. We're revisiting the same thing. We're bringing the whoop-whoopness back in, man. And once again, we are doing now a variation of what we did before. Very nice and creative this time around, because now we are moving where the kill switch is happening. So once again, we are doing the same thing, but different. Very nice. Let's see where it goes. Yep. There you go. Same material, just explored with a slightly different variation. Nice. So yeah, this time around, of course, this is now the climax of the piece, so we're making sure that the sound is a lot more climactic, right? Like we're engaging that kill switch a lot more, we're moving that bass a little bit more. It's a lot. Nate, welcome today, how you doing? So yeah, we're moving the bass a little bit more, we're adding a couple of extra effects, but in essence, this is still the same material we did before. Let's see where it goes. There we go, we got the moment of the chords back again. It's faster this time, right? Very nice, continuing the dropping of the beat. Nice. Same concept as before. And now we use the same vocal track, the same sample we used last time for the rhythmic displacement. We just did a reduction of it, so it's faster. And it just repeated it a few more times. Now we bring back, of course, the arpeggios with the string. I think it sounds like a violin or something. And let's see how it goes. Yep. Violin violin sample doing staccato. Staccato is short bursts of your notes. Your notes being done in short bursts, quickly, and everything. You know, right? Like one of my favorites is this one. It's from Beethoven. I don't remember the name of this. It's second movement of one of his piano sonatas. So yeah, that's staccato, and of course the opposite of staccato would mostly be legato. Legato is when you're just letting the notes play in full. For example, that little moment, staccato. Oh, I messed it up. Hang on. Now we're in legato. Back to staccato. So yeah, we have that Beethoven jump scare. Yes, there you go. Question about on your stream, can I be guardian of your... No. A guardian needs to be of age. Like, I'm talking legal guardian. Yeah. No. Anyway, let's see where it goes. So, I guess in your case, like one of your sisters. Yeah, let's see where it goes. Unless you get designated by the guardian as the guardian, yeah. So we're bringing back the. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's on you then. Yeah. All right, so we bring back the dropping of the beat and. Once again, we go off the ramp, this time with the outro, so now we only have that vocal track with all the reverb, doing the same material we did before. There's a second synth, giving us a little bit of ambience, still using the same material as before, but now since it's just these two, we play it, we let it play out, it ends, it echoes out. And there you have it. That was really cool. That was really cool. Like, Liaquo managed to absolutely tie those two very big contrasts together. Like, this was a very cool way of seeing the best of both worlds kind of thing. Like, these should not have fit together, but they did. Especially because with these, like, yes, either you're gonna want to fit them vertically, so that, yes, the thing is playing while the dubstep is happening, or you're gonna put them one after the other, and that's more difficult because then the contrast being so stark, being so strong, can work against you very easily. But Liaquo was able to make it work very much in favor of the piece. So really, really good. There you go. That was I think I'll be going, or I think we're hanging out through Super Ninja. There you go. That was Crystal Corruption by Liaquo, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, which, you know, it's November, not very likely, still possible, not very likely. If we somehow hit 10,000, I will play on stream a single video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all want. No limits, I guess, within TOS, but no limits other than that on top of the fanfiction audiobook. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounts, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share the videos with everybody you know. You also use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does. Link down below. Go check them out. We'll coordinate with them. Yes, there's that. Artists, Liaquo or otherwise, anybody on YouTube, I want to collaborate. If anybody wants any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, or if you need help figuring out something for your composition or anything like that, just reach out, let me know, we'll make it work. And if you're in the audience and you know anybody who could benefit, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about it. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you are not on the live stream, check the pinned comment. It has the instructions on what to do. If you're on the live stream, you can go ahead and start requesting. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Elyria and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord, Twitch, either of those. It's going to show in your local time zone. Link in the description. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. They get recorded on the main channel, and then the recordings go on the second channel. Link down below, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah, there you go. Liaquo, Crystal Corruption, now it has the double whammy. We did an LFA and a jam and shred for it. Look at that. Good stuff, but, yeah, let's move on.